Hello, everyone. I want to just pop in really quick and share a quick um, video on how you can re-enter the market on a daily basis. There are different time zones and different schedules, and you may not be able to put in your alert for whatever reason, and you want to continue in that on that trade to ride that trend. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how you can re-enter the market utilizing our trading plan. So let's just say that you did not put in the alert. Let's say you didn't, and you came to the charts. And what you want to do is, of course, you want to make sure that you have your triples. If you're selling, you want to make sure that price is below your 50, right? And you also want to make sure that price is have descended below the MACD so that you'll be in seller's territory. So those do still need to coincide. So at that point, it's not necessary to put in an alert each day after that. It's not necessary. As long as those parameters are met, then you're good to go. We just continue following our confirmations. So in this case right here for this sale, we say we came to the market over in here somewhere. All right, we didn't put in an alert, let's just say. And we come, what are we doing? We're just verifying, are we below the 50? Yes. What is my MACD doing? Well, it's crossing below the center line, going into seller's territory. So this may be a possible trade that you can get into. And actually, this would have been because what we do is we put our cursor at the close of the candle. We look left within the previous 48 hours. We're looking for resistance, support or resistance, the previous support or resistance. As long as it's below the close of the candle, we can use either or, support or resistance dots. We also want to make sure that the candle has not closed on a support and resistance dot. Well, we have support right here, but this candle closed slightly below it. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to look left to our previous support, right? So the previous support will take us to about 47 pips. Previous resistance would take us to about 32 pips. And that's within the previous 48 hours. So you would have profited on that trade somewhere in this day. Now, let's look at this day. Well, let me go back. So you profited, looks like you probably would have profited where? Say you got your 20, right? So somewhere around in here. Yeah. On this candle right here, this wick would have put you in profit at 20 pips. Now, guess what? Let's just do the same thing, because if it still meets our criteria, there's no reason why you can't take that trade again, right? Take another trade. So what we do is we go to the close of the candle. We look at our MACD. Are we in seller's territory? Absolutely we are. And the signal line is on top of the MACD line. Sometimes that's not a deciding factor. The deciding factor is that we're in seller's territory. And from that point, you want to look left, look for the previous support or resistance. So our previous will be 29 on the support. Previous on the resistance is 10. Okay, so you look like, hey, you can get your 20 more pips. It was within the last 48 hours, so you could take that trade again. Remember, my whole thing is that you don't want to sacrifice your 20 going for the larger pip count. Get the 20. We have to do one thing perfectly, right? First, we have to master one thing first. And the 20 pip strategy spreadsheet is definitely a great way to compound 20 pips every single time you trade. Because if you follow that spreadsheet, you'll see that you'll be compounding your account as you continue to trade. So this is another trade opportunity that you could have gotten into. And of course, you would have made your pips on this candle right here. So that's that day, right? Now you clocked what, 40 pips that day? Okay. Now you're in the next day. So whenever you come and you have to determine what your trading schedule is going to be, my point is that whenever you come to the chart, you want to make sure that you use those confirmations. You don't have to put in any additional alerts or anything like that. Just make sure that the candles are meeting your confirmations. So we're only looking for sales, right? We're going to ride this trend until the trend changes. We're only looking for sales. So you're here now, right? And let's say that you came on this candle, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Well, it's 2 o'clock. We're in pre-London, right? So let's say that you came here and again, put it on the close of the candle. Look down at our MACD. We are in seller's territory, right? And this is where you want to do some analysis as well. You want to do some analysis. So you're in seller's territory. Right before this candle, that bearish candle right here, we were in consolidation. And anytime that we're in consolidation, what do we want to do? We want to wait for a breakout. We want to wait for a breakout to ensure that the price is going to break out in our direction. But we want to also continue with our confirmation. So what are we doing? We're looking left. We're looking for the previous support, right? And we want it to clear at least 12 or more pips. 12 or more pips. And in this case, it was right at 11. Now, here's the thing. I personally do not, if I put my cursor, this crosshair, right smack dead on top of these dots, you see that is 11 pips. That would give me pause. I'm not going to put it on top because we need to give room for wicks. I'm not going to put it right there on top. You don't want to force it and smudge it. Just have your boundary. My boundary is 3 pips, above, something like that. But even if I put it right on top and I don't clear 12, then that's an indication that I might not take that trade, right? On top of the fact that the previous movement was consolidation. So right there will give me pause anyway, because we want to make sure we don't trade in consolidation. So if you have consolidation, what you want to do is box in price. You want to box in price, right? And what we want to do is make sure that we wait for what? A breakout. What breakout are we waiting on? Oops. We're waiting for price to either break above or below. Of course, we want it to break below, right? And if it broke below, then you would take that candle, that bearish candle, and you'll do the same thing. Go through your confirmations. And that's how you re-enter into an existing trend. So you don't have to miss out when you come to the charts. The only thing that I would urge is that you determine when you're going to trade. You determine when you're going to trade. Are you trading Asian? Are you trading, London, New York? Are you trading the end of London into New York? You make that determination. Whenever that is, just follow the confirmations and you'll be fine. So with that being said, I always say that there's always a trade setup. There's always a trade setup somewhere within the pairs that we have at our disposal. So if the pair is, say, going in the opposite direction, right? There isn't a setup available right now. You have other pairs that you can look at. Now, one of the things, again, that I would recommend is that you outline, you determine 3 pairs that you're going to work with, and just those 3 pairs. Because the more pairs that you're trying to watch, the more pairs that you're trying to, analyze and chase down, the higher the chance of you missing critical moves, the higher the chance that you're going to miss a confirmation, or you're going to miss seeing something that you should have saw that could have potentially kept you out of a bad trade. So for that reason, I recommend just 3 pairs. Follow those 3. If one is not giving you a trade setup, go to the others to do the same thing. And between the 3, you should have some consistency in your trade setups. So those are just the things that I would suggest. And in this case, we did break out. Where did we break out? We broke out bullish, right? We broke out bullish. This candle, not the wicks, the body must close below or above the trend line. on the consolidation, and it happened right here. Okay, and then it pulled up. But because you know, always look left and see what happened. Remember those three questions. What is price doing right now? Well, if we came to the chart on this candle, we can clearly see that this is a continuation, right? Because it's always in the direction of the trend. The continuation is. Um, so this is a continuation candle, but it's also part of the previous action, which is consolidation. When we see that, we want to box in. We take the top wick and that's where we guide. That's our guide to where we're going to drop our trend line, and then the bottom wick, the lower wick, and we do the same. Then we wait for a breakout. That's simple as that. So honestly, if you see the candle that you came to the market on, look left. If it's part of consolidation, you don't want to be trading that. Wait for the breakout, okay? And then you'll get a clear picture of what price is wanting to do. If price wants to go bullish in a bearish trend right now, then we let it do it. I mean, we can't control it anyway, but we're not going to get in. That makes sense? Okay, so now, so we saved ourselves here in essence, right? Okay, so here we are. We got a little body that closed below our 50, right? So where did it close? Smack dead on our support dot. So what are we doing? We're going to wait for it to break and close below that level right there. So did that happen? Yes, that happened right here. So what we're going to do, now remember, you wouldn't even see these dots yet. You wouldn't even see these dots yet. And this is how the trading plan just kind of helps you to see what is potentially going to happen next. So now we're here. It broke this level right here. We put our line at our close of the candle. And we look down at our MACD. Our MACD is coming from, it looks like it wants to go back down through the zero line to the downside, right? Our signal line is on top. Okay, so it's moving in that direction. Then we want to look left, right? And what are we looking for? The previous support dots. We want to make sure that from the close of the candle to the previous support dots, that it clears what? At least 12 pips. It does not here. So what that tells me is that my next candle is going to be a pullback, right? I don't have to really see that to know it because my left side of the chart is giving me all of the data points as to what took place in the past. We do not want to make the assumption that it's going to break through. We don't know that, right? So we have to trade what we see. Trade what we see. And what we see right here is that we're right at a support level. It did not clear 12 or more. So we wait. And had we done that, we would have saved ourselves because guess what? It consolidated again, right? So if you're finding that you're in consolidation, just go to another pair out of the pairs that you are trading. And that's what we do each and every time, I know that everyone is busy. We have our lives doing what we do. You may even put in your alert and missed it. You still have an opportunity to get into a trade because the market there's always a setup. Now, I'm not saying that there's always a setup that you're going to get right in right now. No, there's some waiting involved for things to set up, but the potential for a setup is always there. So I hope that has helped. That way you can consistently have options when it comes to trading. You all have a fantastic trading week, and I'll see you inside of the Telegram. Bye-bye.